Good morning, we are on Witmosklo farm for another day of hunting. It should be great. However, woke up this morning, looked outside, it is cold and it is quite windy and it's very overcast. So from a weather point of view, I'm not sure how good it's going to be. And usually conditions like this, I'm not sure if we're going to see much, and it's going to make it difficult to shoot, especially with the air guns in windy conditions, but we're going to make the most of it. And to start off, I've just got up, had a shower and was going to make myself some coffee. But I'm seeing some red-winged starlings which are coming in and out of the roof here, and they don't want red-winged starlings around here. So before I do anything else, I'm going to put the scope cam on the impact or on the crown, and we're going to see if we can get those two birds, and then we can get back to the normal routine of the day. But let's see how that goes first. Oh, my voice is doing weird things because it's windy and cold, and it's supposed to be summer.
Mr. Starling shows up and presents me with a shot, and the impact does the job as always. I didn't see the other one after this, but that's half the job done for now.
And that is how you deal with a problematic starling. Now I'll show you where they were nesting. They were up here in the roof. From what I can tell, they were nesting right up there in that hole. And you can see there's actually chicken wire that's been put there to stop them from nesting there. But they're able to actually squeeze their way past there and build a nest anyway, which is not great. But we sorted one out. I think the other one will be back at some point. I think we just got to hang around here. So maybe I'll put the coffee on so long, and while the kettle's boiling, I'll sit and wait for the next one. See if we can get him.
We're just having some breakfast here, some bacon and some eggs if we can find them. We don't know where they are. We might have left them at the main house. But we're going to have some breakfast and then head out and pretty much do the same thing as yesterday, but hopefully find some more monkeys and baboons, because they're pretty much our main priorities on these trips.
Well, a slight change of plans. The idea for this morning was to kind of do the same as what we were doing yesterday. We would go out and do some vomiting ground squirrels, maybe a few monkeys or baboons if we see them. But plans changed as we came into the farmhouse to fetch Anton, and Anton's father, Anton Senior, who's the farmer here, basically said to us that there are yellow blesbok that he's wanting to breed in to a herd of blesbok, but he's saying there are other male blesbok rams, both normal blesbok and white blesbok, that are competing with the yellow blesbok ram. So they want to actually shoot out all the other blesbok rams so that the yellow blesbok can breed in, and he's asked us to shoot the other rams. So it's a change of plans. We're more than happy to help out. It's really cool to do some management hunting every now and again. So we're going to head up into the mountains now and see if we can find some blesbok rams, see if we can get a few shots on camera. Let's go do it. Anton tells us that we are likely to find a herd of blesbok in the mountains just south of the farmhouse, and so we head off on one of the dirt roads and eventually spot the herd grazing on one of the hillsides. Now, if you've seen any of my blesbok hunts before, you'll know that they aren't the most difficult animals to hunt. They aren't very smart and they don't hide themselves very well, but what is very difficult is trying to distinguish between rams and ewes from a long way off. The differences are very minor, and we don't want to shoot a ewe by mistake. The herd keeps moving up the mountain, but eventually stops and gives us an opportunity to find one of the white blesbok rams, and I make the opportunity count while he's presenting me with a clear shot at just under 500 yards.
He's bleeding heavily. Got him. I can see him. There he's down. Lekker. He is toast.
Well, there you go, guys. That was a white blesbok ram. Was able to bring the 260 out. Obviously with 22 to 50, not a good idea for this kind of shooting, but the 260 is perfect for this. A few weeks ago I put up a video, or probably a few months ago by the time you see this, of a 720 meter blesbok shot with the same setup, so I know this gun can do it. There's really not that much wind today, so I got the 260 out. Anton's asked us to take out blesbok rams out of this group, and got the range at 440 meters. He was probably a little bit further by the time I took the shot because he was moving a bit up, but I put it all in. I dialed 2.5 mils for elevation and just put on 1 or 2 clicks for wind. Took the shot, heard the thump, and then started seeing the blood coming out, and within a few seconds he was down. So I'm very, very happy with that. Just a matter of going up there and checking him out, and maybe getting another one if there are more rams in the group. But it's a really good start to the day. Whew, well, a long walk up the hill. Unfortunately we just can't drive the truck up here, there's too many big boulders, so it's been a long walk up here. Difficult retrieval, but we've got the blesbok down. Not a big ram, it's a fairly immature ram. However, the aim is not to shoot a trophy animal, it's a management hunt. We want to get the white and normal blesbok rams out so that the yellow blesbok can actually breed in with the other ewes without these being competitive with them. So we've got our objective down in this area over here. Perfect shot from 440 meters, right over there where I aimed. So I'm very happy with that. Bullet performed nicely by the looks of things. Didn't run very far at all. So all we need to do now is lug this thing all the way down the hill, take it to the cold room, and then I think the plan is to go to another part of the farm to look for more rams that we can possibly shoot there. But very happy for now. It's just a matter of doing the rest of the difficult work. Not exactly how we thought the day would turn out, but it's definitely been a lot of fun, and I think it's just about keeping on now. Let's go do it. We're hoping to shoot another blesbok ram before the heat starts getting too intense, and we do eventually find the herd again. This time Luke's up. It's a pretty stout one now.
Yeah.
But see that one bottom,
Yeah.
looking straight at us.
Yeah.
You sure that's not a ram?
That doesn't look like a ram to me.
Everything is set up perfectly. Luke could have easily taken the shot, but it just isn't clear to us whether there's another ram in the herd or not, and we don't want to take any risks.
We have an opportunity here to take a shot at a second blesbok, but we're struggling to find a ram in the group, and we want to be absolutely sure that we are shooting a ram, because that's what the farmers asked us to shoot. So even though it's a nice shooting position here, we're going to try to get a bit closer just so we can be sure of our shots.
With the temperature really starting to rise and the first blesbok still on the back of the bucky, we decided to abort for the time being and take the carcass to the cold room. Summertime in this part of the country is no joke. It isn't exactly pleasant to be walking around in this heat. Forget what I said about this being a cold day. It was cold this morning, but it is getting hot now. This is a typical Karoo summer day. It starts off pretty cold and it just gets hotter and hotter, and eventually you're just dying to jump in a swimming pool. So we might even just do that, is take a break, hop in the swimming pool and rejuvenate ourselves, prepare ourselves for another outing. But let's see how it goes. After a quick lunch break, we decide to head to the lands with the goal of trying to find some monkeys and baboons. We haven't shot any on this trip yet so far, which is just crazy considering how many there are. But as we near the lands, we spot some little brown heads popping up.
We just come up on a small colony of ground squirrels now, and I decided to take a shot with a 260, which is serious overkill, but I'm trying a new bullet as well because I can't find the burgers anywhere. I love them, but this is with a 123 grain Hornady AMAX bullet, which is very frangible and will just fragment on impact, whereas the burgers sometimes just punch through these small animals like very undramatically. This one has made a very dramatic effect on this ground squirrel. So pretty decent vomiting around, probably even can hunt small game with it. So I'm keen to see what it will do to a monkey as well.
There are signs of the little buggers everywhere, but they don't want to show themselves, so we use the time to practice our wind calls on some rocks about 350 meters away.
Exactly where I am, basically, I think.
Our next point of call are the lands right on the edge of the Witmoskloof Conservancy. We're hoping to find some baboons here, but aside from a bushbuck feeding on the lucerne, there's nothing really in sight. This is one of my favourite spots on the whole farm though, and I'll tell you why. Running right through the lands is the Great Fish River. This is the heart of the Eastern Cape, and the Fish River is like an artery carrying the lifeblood right through these farms. This part of the country has some very rich history. Back in the 17 and 1800s, there were Dutch farmers that lived in this area and farmed in these mountains, and the Fish River marked a sort of border between the Cape Colony, which was under British rule, and the area just west of the river, which would later be known as the Ciskei, where the Xhosa people lived. In 1820, the British sent thousands of settlers to Port Elizabeth, and many of these settlers moved north, wanting their own farming communities. By 1837, the Dutch farmers had had enough, and not wanting to be part of the Cape Colony anymore, they embarked on something known as the Great Trek, in which they took their Oxwagons and pioneered their way north into new territory, settling in places like Bloemfontein, Johannesburg, Pretoria, and some of them even daring to make their way down into the Zulu territory, where they eventually bought land from the Zulu king Dingane. The significance of this history is that this part of the Eastern Cape is where the Great Trek actually started, and some of these pioneers would have come right past this land with their Oxwagons. The Oxwagon camp at Witmoskloof is a reminder of this history and a real step back in time. On our way back to the camp, we stop off at a lookout point above the lands where we'd shot the ground squirrels earlier, and to our delight we spot a few more running across the grass. The 22-250 comes out again, and it's straight back to business.
Ooh.
Got him. Lovely.
That's
so cool.
That's beaut.
Oh, that is so cool. Oh, I'm absolutely loving this rifle. Little 22-250, no recoil. Bullet gets there so quickly. I only put on 4 clicks for wind at 238 meters. Bit of left to right. Flies attacking me. Bit of left to right wind here. But put on 2 clicks for wind and just lined up on him, pulled the trigger and watched him pop. So it's a really fantastic setup. Really enjoying it. Unfortunately, we haven't had much opportunities with the air guns, but it's good to get something down, so I'm very, very happy. Same spot as the first one.
Yeah.
My word.
That was a hit. Pretty sure.
Well, it's been a fairly uneventful afternoon. We were really hoping to get some monkeys or baboons this afternoon. I think the fact that it's a bit greener now than it was last time we were here has meant that the baboons and monkeys have not needed to come and move around as much. They're happy to sit in one spot and actually feed on stuff that's in the trees. So we've been struggling to see them, and it's been pretty difficult this afternoon. However, we've come back along this road on the way back to the house and decided to stop here and look over the lands here where we shot the ground squirrels yesterday, and we've been able to shoot these things from hundreds of meters out, which is obviously would not be possible on our previous trips with the equipment we had. But we have the 22-250 this time, which is the 22 vomiter. It's made for vomiting, it's made for this kind of thing. So it's been fantastic to be able to whip it out, spot ground squirrels 238, 240 meters away, do the adjustments and shoot 3 or 4 in a row, which is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, it's been a good afternoon overall. I think we're probably gonna maybe not call it a day, but at least for now head back to the camp and relax a bit. It is very hot, but it's really cool to get some shots on camera like that. Well, for my dinner tonight, I'm having something pretty similar to last night. It was so good that I think I'm gonna have it again. I've got some steak, rump steak from a Nyala shot. I've got some cheese on top that's gonna melt into it, and I've got some steakhouse sauce, and then I've got some pita bread. So I'm gonna put the pita bread on the fire, let it get nice and crispy on the outside, put the cheese melted over the steak inside, and then I've also got some potatoes that I put with some olive oil, some herbs and spices, some salt, and between two tinfoil sheets. That's going to get nice and crispy, so it's going to be a really interesting dinner. And we've also got some sausage here from the Nyala and the wildebeest that I shot a while back, so we're going to eat that as well. So it's going to be a great dinner, and it's nice to be outside once again. We were inside yesterday. It's nice to be out. The weather this evening is fantastic. The wind has died off completely, so we're going to definitely enjoy the night. Right guys, it's been a really long day, very interesting day. We've been privileged to be able to sit around the fire tonight in beautiful weather and get some amazing food. And I know it's going to be a case of maaghies vol, oogies toe after this, which basically means stomach full, eyes closed. We're going to probably hit the hay hard, so I suppose we're going to end it there. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we have some more videos tomorrow. Plan to head out tomorrow, hopefully with the air guns in the morning if there's not much wind, to go shoot a few dassies. But that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.